Am I the asshole for failing a student, giving them a reality check, and then ruining their college plans? I am a high school chemistry teacher in a district where chemistry is required to graduate. I recognize that many students aren't scientifically, mathematically inclined, and having an ADHD child has confirmed firsthand that even trying your best may not guarantee success in certain subjects. For this reason, I make my class as stress-free for my students as possible. Grades are determined mainly by homework participation. Only a small percentage is exam-based. I also offer a weekly extra credit assignment that I introduce on Monday and have due by Friday. It's the same every time. Watch a 5-minute long video about our current topic, then write a 3-2-1 inch about it. 3 things they learned, 2 things that they found surprising, interesting, and 1 question they still had about the video. I even accept silly answers like, "Where did the guy buy that mole plushie from?" Even if you perform poorly on exams, turning in your homework and completing at least half the extra credit assignments will guarantee you at least a B. The majority of my students have A's, are motivated during class, and their standardized testing scores indicate a strong understanding of chemistry. Then there's my student, Levi. I don't think Levi is a bad kid in any way. But he is very disrespectful and never turns in homework or extra credit. I have sent Levi to a counselor to discuss if there's a reason he can't do his homework and if we could help. Nothing came of that. I held multiple parent meetings to discuss Levi's lack of effort and that he would not graduate 11th grade unless he changed. His mother would insist that I give Levi another chance, and she would stay on top of him. There was never any improvement. The last day of school is on Friday. Levi has a 34.6% in my class. He approached me last week after school and asked how he could raise his grade. I encouraged him to study for the final exam. But the exam is only 3% of his final grade and wouldn't be enough. Because he failed both semesters, he doesn't have the option to make up a semester in summer school and will have to repeat the 11th grade. Levi begged me because he and his friends were planning to attend the same college and if he were held back he'd be left behind. I told him, "Levi, your conduct and lack of effort will not work in college or the real, adult world. You are not ready for the complete adulthood that comes with college. Your grade is the one you earned and that is final." Levi looked devastated and left. Later his mother emailed me saying she wished I'd invested more in Levi. I hate having to fail a student but I feel Levi needed a harsh reality check and he gave me no choice. It would also be unfair to my students who did try. I talked about this with some family members, and many told me I could have taught Levi a lesson without ruining his future and I went too far with my words. Again, I didn't enjoy it but still believe it was necessary. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. You did everything you could. Levi is at the point where he doesn't need his hand held all the time and he needs to take initiative for his own grades. You had opportunities. You can't force him to do them. You didn't ruin his future. He's doing that himself. Not the asshole. Your class sounds like an easy as so long as one does the work. And that extra credit can be done in 10 minutes. If he wasn't able to handle that, he definitely cannot handle college courses. I'm guessing your friends throwing around this ruining his future idiocy aren't teachers? You did try. You just listed the several ways you tried. Levi did not try. Therefore, Levi fails the class. You don't do him any favors by sending him to college with the work ethic he's shown in your class. Why are you even questioning yourself? Not the asshole. Later his mother emailed me saying she wished I'd invested more in Levi. Didn't you say you had multiple meetings with his mom and she said she'd keep on top of him? Strange that now he's failed, it's your fault. Not the asshole. Obviously a lesson he needed to learn. Not the asshole. Too bad mom didn't invest that much time in Levi. Not the asshole. Levi earned his grade. I cannot imagine how much you'd have to screw off to get 36%. No one is going to hold his hand or give him a pass at university or work. It's better he learn the lesson sooner than later. He has the option to retake the course in summer school. Am I the asshole for not wanting my sister to go to Paris with me? I, 24 female, have 2 sisters, 26 and 23. My older sister and I are going to Paris specifically to buy luxury items, because it's tax-free and cheaper. We did not invite our younger sister because she always goes on vacation with little money and expects us to accommodate for her needs. This time we decided to not invite her at all, because of repeated behavior of expecting my sister and I to pay everything for her and I want to spend my money on me instead of her. It's just frustrating when someone agreed to come on vacation with you and they don't pay for themselves but rely on other people to pay for their share. My younger sister is pissed, but we felt it necessary to have a vacation without the extra expenses. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. You are all adults. If your sister can't afford to pay her own way, she shouldn't go. Not the asshole, but I might want to have the difficult conversation and tell your younger sister exactly why she isn't invited. A little tough love might be good in this situation. Not the asshole. She can't afford to go, so you didn't invite her. Have fun. I'm going to say not the asshole. I mean, you could give her an ultimatum saying she can come if she shows you she has the money to pay and pays for herself. And tell her you won't be paying her way either. Not the asshole, but make sure she knows why she's being left out, and invite her on the next trip with a reminder of why she wasn't invited the previous time. Her behavior might change once she's experienced the consequences. Not the asshole. If you work and save your own money, so should the sister. By the way, I've heard of this. How much cheaper is, say, a Dior bag over there? Am I the asshole for not dumbing down my ability to ride a horse and basic farm care? I 42 female got into a relationship with a Michael, 45 male, about 6 months ago. During this time I explained to him how I grew up on a farm and the things I did. When we first discussed this, he seemed impressed by my abilities and willingness to get my hands dirty. Recently his friends suggested we all go on a couple's date to a day in a life on a farmer. I was ecstatic to show off my skills because I knew none of them have ever stepped foot on one their entire lives. He however asked me to take seat so we could talk about this. Basically said he wanted me to give him a crash course in farm life before going and for me to act like the other girlfriends and just be impressed by everything they do the whole day. I just said, you're kidding, right? He explained how he wanted to look good in front of his friends and not be emasculated by his woman at man's work. I reminded him how he grew up with a sliver spoon in his mouth and this isn't something you just learn in 2 weeks. He begged, so I agreed to help him learn. I guess he felt his 2 weeks of training would surpass my entire upbringing because he said I didn't have to play weak anymore. Day of, he was completely hopeless. Work started early and literally only me and one couple were actually up early. The every first thing we were supposed to do was picking up chickens. He tried to do it how I showed at first, but eventually he lost his cool, yelling, cursing at them. Only me and one other person actually did it right. Later we were supposed to try and chop wood. He got to 2.5, giving up after just barely splitting the third one. His friends and I chopped the required amount of 10 with their girlfriends, telling him to just sit back and drink sweet tea with them. The final straw was horseback, which really was the guide leading the horse in a circle while you ride it. Pretty much everyone did it, but he flaked out last second. I however told the guide I was fine on my own. I honestly just rode slightly faster than them without the guide. When I got off he was gone. His friend had to drive me home that night. After 3 days and maybe 20 worried texts later, he told me he no longer wanted to be with me and I was a competitive a-hole who wouldn't just let him have this, and I embarrassed him in front of his friends. At first I didn't take it seriously till my friend group said what I did was wrong and he had more to prove and lose than me and I should have been more supportive and let go of my pride. Not the asshole. I read the title and immediately knew that op was a woman asking because of a man's fragile ego. No. Not the asshole. Do not let these people make you think you did something wrong. Dude is insecure as fuck. If a guy needs to be better than you for you to have a relationship, you do not need to be with that guy. He literally had nothing to prove or lose, it was all in his head. It is not your job to pretend to be incompetent to stroke some asshole's fragile ego. Imagine the future with someone like that. He'd do this constantly, needing to be better than you, making you feel like all his failures were your fault. No ma'am. You didn't do a damn thing wrong and, unfortunately, your friend group is full of idiots. Not the asshole. But what kind of rich people bullshit is cosplaying as a farmer for vacation? Did you pay for this? People pay real monies to do this? Not the asshole. I was raised to believe that if you want to impress people it's important to actually be impressive. Not the asshole. Good riddance to his insecure self. You need better friends too. Never make yourself less for a man. And run if they whine about your abilities, emasculating them. Not the asshole. Find you a partner from your type of background. He would have been impressed, not intimidated. Us farm girls, equestrian women work with 1,000+ pound animals every day and control them without knees. You deserve a real man. Regardless if he is a farm boy or not. A man would have been wowed, impressed, and wanting to give it his all to try and stay by your side. Boys tuck tail and run, then blame you. Fuck that guy. Am I the asshole for telling my boyfriend's married sister to lay off, stop bullying her husband at dinner? I'm close with my boyfriend's family. He, 29M, and I, 29F, hang out with his sister, 36F, and her husband, 39M, twice a week. The sister talks behind her husband's back all the time to my boyfriend, and I don't take part as he is my friend, and I find these conversations disrespectful. When we are all out together, she shames him and talks down to him all the time in front of people. It seriously makes me cringe. But whatever, right? It's their relationship. A couple weeks ago, the four of us were playing a board game. He made a mistake and she groaned at him and was like, "No. You wait till your turn to go." Like one of those, obviously, statements. Then she just rolled her eyes at him to us. He got really quiet after that. A few minutes later, she and my boyfriend went to get drinks in the garage and he turned to me and said, "Well, there they go again to talk shit about me. They always do that." It was so embarrassing. My heart broke for him and I told my boyfriend later in private. I told him he should discourage that kind of behavior or at least not take part because it is noticed by others including him, is unfair to his brother-in-law, and is unfair to his sister and her marriage. At this point, maybe I sound like a judgmental bitch. But I promise, it comes from a place of love for everyone. I don't dare interfere with the two of them or try to give advice. I am rooting for them and just don't want to encourage behavior I see as toxic, as I think it's better to talk to your partner than complain about them to others, especially mutual friends or family. Anyway, here's where I may have messed up. Tonight was his birthday. The family and 4 close friends went out to dinner. While we were there, she did the whole talking down to him, obviously, bit to him multiple times. It was so awkward and I felt bad for him. And towards the end of the dinner I just personally couldn't take anymore. I'm not the kind of person to call people out publicly or in front of other people. But he just looked so unhappy and it was irritating the hell out of me. So I spoke up calmly, "You don't need to talk to him like he's an idiot." Perhaps understandably, she got upset at me, but then she doubled down on her comment that he was being dumb. I then replied, "No, that's not the point. That's just really condescending. He's human and makes mistakes. You don't need to embarrass him in front of everyone." She was hella pissed but didn't say anything. He just stayed looking the way he had before, numb. The atmosphere of the table was awkward for like 10 seconds before things picked up again, but she did tell my boyfriend later I should mind my own fucking business. IDK. Maybe I should. But damn, I just hate that kind of behavior. And when someone doesn't stick up for themselves, I can't help it that I eventually get to a point where I do it in their stead. By all means, if I'm the asshole, please tell me I will gladly learn from this experience. Not the asshole. She verbally abuses him in front of other people. Not cool. Not the asshole. She made it your business by making the comments to the group, including you. Your response, every time, should be directed at the situation or him, not her, in future. That's no big deal. We know it was a mistake. No one's trying to cheat here. Hey, how about the big storm coming? Changing the subject, and making civil conversation with the husband included. Enlist your husband in the decency mission. She's being an asshole for being rude in public and forcing others to participate in condescension, humiliation of another member of the group. I hope she gets therapy. Not the asshole. She makes it everyone else's business by doing it in public. What you were doing was standing up for a domestic abuse victim. OMG. Not the asshole. I feel this on a personal level. I have an eerily similar situation. Except that my boyfriend isn't joining in on his sister's BS. But damn, I wish someone would call her out because she makes everyone so uncomfortable. Poor guy. He deserves better. It's about time someone stood up to her. It's pretty sad that it wasn't your boyfriend sticking up for Bill, and he's joining in instead. Hola, soy Dora. Can you spot the asshole? Points at your boyfriend's sister. Correct. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. He's being abused and your boyfriend is helping by allowing it.